Più di un secolo di storia, tradizione e grandi valori, ma anche innovazione, ricerca e capacità di guardare al futuro.
La Y ha uno stile senza tempo, proporzioni, finiture, semplicità, purezza e a volte anche un tocco di ecletticità.
Quando abbiamo cominciato a lavorare sugli interni delle nuove Lancia, volevamo ricreare un effetto di home feeling.
La Y interpreta il nostro nuovo linguaggio di design, che è allo stesso tempo puro e radicale.
Degli spazi più dinamici, degli spazi meno automobilistici, legati alla grande tradizione del furniture design.
Abbiamo coniato un nuovo termine che è sustainability, che è proprio l'insieme della sostenibilità e dello stile.
E Fortress Technology è il nostro modo di rendere la vettura facile da utilizzare.
La nuova Y è sempre piacevole da guidare, agile e maneggevole in città, divertente fra le curve, confortevole in ogni situazione.
Benvenuti nel futuro di Lancia. Buon pomeriggio a tutti.
Good afternoon to you all. And welcome to Turin. Welcome Mr. Elkan, welcome Mr. Tavares.
Well, we are used to speak in Italian during our presentation, which makes everything more authentic, so if you don't mind, I will switch into Italian. Allora, oggi una lunga, bella...
So, it's been a long day we've had together. You started off with a product briefing in Caselle as soon as you arrived, a deep dive into design, and then a wonderful drive through the hills of Turin. But before we go into the tech specs, let's take a step back together. Let's all go back to February 14th. I'm sure you remember we were in the amazing Casina showroom in Milan, and we presented the beautiful new Y for the first time in the Casina edition. But we also talked about our mission and also about the promises we've kept so far. Mission, then. Our mission is crystal clear. It's the one Mr. Tavares handed me in January 2021. The merger had just been signed. I remember the day very well. I remember every single minute of that first meeting very well. He said, you've got to come up with a plan to drive Lancia to be a credible and reputable brand in the premium market. You have to work with Alfa Romeo and DS to strengthen Stellantis' premium offer in Europe. Okay? Well, if that is the mission, let's have a look at the promises we've kept so far. First promise, 3 new cars, 1 every other year. The first, the new Y, is ready, beautiful, and will be reaching our Italian dealerships in the coming days. The second, the Gamma, will be coming in 2026. The styling has been completed. It's stunning. It'll be made in Melfi on the Stella Medium platform, meaning a range of over 700 kilometers. The third is the Lancia everyone's dreaming about, the Delta, a bit like you imagine it, angular, muscular, powerful, but we still have plenty of time to work on that. Second promise we've delivered on, a very ambitious electrification strategy. Today we're presenting the first 100% electrified Lancia, hybrid and electric, aiming to become a full electric brand well ahead of European regulations. Third promise, we'd said an HF version for each model. We've delivered on that too. The first will be on the Y in exactly 1 year's time, and starting from the second car, HF will become HF Integrale. Fourth promise, a radical restructuring of the Italian network. So we moved from 230 corners, albeit nice, but no more than corners inside Fiat dealerships, to a new network of 160 exclusive premium showrooms, and from 600 salespeople in common with Fiat to a community of 240 dedicated, certified, expert Lancia professionals. Last promise, Speaking of Europe, we had said 70 dealerships in 70 cities to start with, and that's confirmed too. We've started in the Netherlands and in Belgium. That will be launching right out of the summer in September. Spain and France will follow by the end of the year, and next year we'll be focusing on Germany, which is obviously the biggest of our challenges. So easy does it, one step at a time, but always with great, great quality. Right then, does keeping so many promises mean mission accomplished, all done already? Are we already a premium brand? No, of course not. It's going to take time, I'm well aware of that, but the important thing is to have started. The important thing is to work in the right direction and never turn back. After all, we're a small group, we're low-key, but also very pragmatic, and we're also very determined. Just think. We weren't afraid of closing production and sales of the current YPSILON, despite it being a very successful car. We weren't afraid to start again from an entirely new car. We haven't been afraid of creating a new distribution system. We haven't been afraid of starting with a new and completely different customer base. We have a very clear vision of Lancia's future. It's a future where design is timeless, a future where technology is straightforward and intuitive. It's a sustainable future that's constantly changing. Let's have a look.
It's a chance to leave our mark, enchanting city streets. Sometimes they can even be the spark that can inspire a win, an innovation that can lead to unthinkable achievements in the purest Italian way, winning more than anyone else on the track. Changes can transform you into the protagonists of a revolution, creating a safe, welcoming space, a space to call home. Facing them with a simplifying mindset, where innovations are based on our gestures, our voice. Changes are milestones of a transformation process. They are part of our nature, of our style. They are the necessary steps for growth. They live within our own idea of movement.
Allora, determinazione.
So then, determination and promises kept. But during the presentation of the new YPSILON Casina in Milan, there was another commitment that I couldn't mention at the time, a promise I couldn't yet claim we'd kept, and that is the promise about our product quality. So what did we do? We called this event One Car, Four Statements, because today we're going to make 4 statements about our new YPSILON. The first statement is about drivability. We wanted a car that could bring together handling, agility, comfort, and driving pleasure all together. The second statement is about technology. Technology that's straightforward and intuitive in perfect Lancia style. The third statement is about an 100% electrified car that can offer freedom of choice between electric and hybrid. And lastly, the fourth one is about the typical elegance of the most beautiful Lancias. So drivability, technology, electrification, and elegance. One car for 4 statements. 4 statements that we can now make with the help of 4 dear friends. Let's see.
Sono Michi Biesion
e con la Lancia sono diventato campione italiano, campione europeo e 2 volte campione del mondo.
Mi chiamo Andrea Galeazzi, sono un architetto ma soprattutto un grande appassionato di tecnologia e questo mi porta a provare tante cose ma a coglierne soprattutto l'aspetto tech, di innovazione.
Sono Silvia Bodoardo, sono una docente di chimica fisica applicata e mi occupo nella mia attività di ricerca di batterie innovative, in particolare per l'applicazione automotive e nell'ambito stazionario.
Sono Alessia Colonna, designer e content creator, ma soprattutto mamma di 2 bimbi. È davvero comodo da guidare.
E soprattutto molto silenziosa, che secondo me non guasta.
Caspita, schizza via bene!
Miki pilota è impressionato dalla vettura da città.
Allora, sono 4 amici, ma...
So, 4 friends, but also 4 real experts when it comes to drivability, technology, electrification and elegance. Okay, let's hear what our friends think about, first of all, drivability. As you know, we started from the CMP platform. That's certainly a great starting point that we worked on to create a car that's very agile, dynamic, as you saw today, as you drove it, that drives well, but at the same time offers great comfort. We widened the wheel track 2 centimeters more, so you see it and also feel it. We also worked on a specific suspension setup that's more dynamic, but never too rigid, as I'm sure you realized as you drove today. We calibrated the steering too to achieve maximum steering precision. And lastly, we created a soundproofing package for great quality of life on board under any possible condition. It was something of an obsession for us. We wanted an Ypsilon that would be agile in city driving, but also great fun to drive up the twists and turns of hills. So let's see what Mickey Biasion thinks about it. He drove a hybrid Ypsilon.
La nuova Y è molto confortevole, però è anche molto reattiva, molto dinamica. Ha una guida veramente piacevole, ma anche sportiva volendo. È incredibile la precisione che ha la macchina nelle sterzate destra e sinistra. Certo che le Lancia che guidavo io non erano così comode. Qui mi sembra di essere nel salotto di casa. Le sospensioni sono veramente molto efficienti e la rendono una vettura molto comoda, però non perde assolutamente di dinamicità nella guida. È piacevolissima da guidare e anche per evitare un ostacolo la macchina ti dà una notevole sicurezza. Così silenziosa e confortevole sicuramente sarà fantastica anche in autostrada. L'accelerazione è notevole per una cittadina. Mi viene voglia di portarla in prova speciale. Che soddisfazione per un pilota guidare questa macchina in città.
Vabbè, facciamo un grande applauso.
So let's give Mickey Biasion a warm hand, a great champion in the Lancia world. Mickey Biasion takes the new Ypsilon to a special stage. Now, we've talked about drivability. Let's move on to technology. You finally tried out our new infotainment system. We'd described it when we'd met before, so sound, air, light augmentation. You tested it today, and as you've seen, all it takes to customize the in-car environment is a single voice command or the push of a button. And there's more than that. There are 2 standard over 10-inch displays, and then you just have to walk away from the car or approach it to lock it or unlock it. That's great. Then full LED headlights switch on automatically. The gearbox is automatic for maximum driving comfort. It's also great to park with front and rear cameras. And last but not least, level 2 autonomous driving. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is that this is the highest spec technology provided as standard in this segment. But it's always intuitive and easy to use. Let's see.
Andiamo a vedere se quello che dice Lancia, cioè tanta tecnologia ma semplice, è vero. Beh, le premesse direi che sono buone. Si è aperta da sola. E dentro ci accoglie Sala, che è un acronimo perfetto perché è italiano, evoca un salotto, tra l'altro su questo tavolino ricarica wireless e qua la genialata di Lancia che preconfigura di default questi 3 widget e il terzo è proprio quello di Sala per personalizzare con un touch tutto l'ambiente della vettura. E poi ci sono i comandi vocali che si attivano con un Ehi Sala. Alza la temperatura, che come vedete interagisce anche con la vettura, ma arriveranno anche le integrazioni con ChatGPT. Poi c'è questo hub che ricorda molto gli assistenti vocali casalinghi, ma adesso andiamo a guidarla. Ma quello che mi piace è che nelle vetture elettriche abbiamo potenza e coppia subito. In città voglio il comfort, voglio la silenziosità, ma con la possibilità di zam, dare la zampata e divincolarmi.
Grazie Andrea.
Thanks Andrea. A warm hand for you too. It was very clear what you said, straightforward and fun to drive. You test drove an YPSILON with an electric motor, so now let's talk about electrification and let's see what Professor Bodoardo has to say about it.
Perché si sta transendo verso i sistemi elettrici è legato al fatto che i sistemi elettrici in generale e anche nell'ambito automotive sono molto più efficienti rispetto a tutti i sistemi a combustione. In particolare poi utilizzare il sistema a batterie ci permette di non produrre gas inquinanti e ad effetto serra, quindi clima alteranti, nelle zone densamente popolate ed è un fattore positivo che quindi anche il brand Lancia stia in questo momento andando in questa direzione, che può essere solo di sostegno per l'ambiente.
Nel traffico i rumori che si sentono non sono certamente quelli dei veicoli, ma sono solo quelli dell'attrito sull'asfalto. Se tutte fossero come questa elettrica avremmo molto più silenzio in città. Vabbè, siamo ancora al 90% e in effetti stiamo consumando davvero poco. E questo è dovuto al fatto che man mano in città in particolare il numero di frenate è elevato e ogni volta che freni l'energia dell'attrito viene riprodotta come energia elettrica che si accumula nel pacco batterie. Con l'autonomia di questa batteria ci permette di andare sicuramente in città, ma anche se ho bisogno di andare in montagna nel weekend, fare la gita fuori porta, si può fare senza dover ricaricare, quindi avere l'ansia di trovare o non trovare una colonnina disponibile per la ricarica.
Allora, volevamo...
So, what we were looking for was sustainability, efficiency, range and driving pleasure all together. I think we succeeded both in the electric version that Professor Bodoardo drove and also the hybrid version, ensuring the greatest freedom of choice to everyone. Electric vehicles are really meant for people who bear a great sense of responsibility, both towards the environment and also towards the younger generations. These are customers who want a zero-emission car, but they also want plenty of range, and we can offer over 400 kilometers. They want speed and ease of charging, both at home and on the go. So we offer 100 kilometers in 10 minutes, low maintenance cost, freedom of movement in city centers, that's very important too, and like Andrea was saying, responsiveness, kick and driving pleasure as well. Strong performance and sustainability for the hybrid model as well, which offers the best in-class efficiency, low consumption and very reduced emissions. So this brings us to the fourth and final statement, elegance. Let's see what Alessia has to say.
Per me l'eleganza italiana è semplicità, è raffinatezza, è classe, è sensualità senza ostentazione, quindi anche osare senza risultare mai volgare. Si guida davvero benissimo, troppo comoda e silenziosa. Noto solo ora l'abbinamento tra il sedile e la plancia con questo dettaglio geometrico bellissimo. E questo tavolino troppo comodo, ci ricarico il telefono e appoggio anche il mio rossetto, che tanto si sa, noi donne in auto ritocchiamo sempre il make-up. Questi sedili sono troppo comodi, mi sembra di stare sul divano di casa. Lo stile di Lancia YPSILON è senza tempo. Si ispira al passato e alla tradizione, con uno sguardo però rivolto al futuro e all'innovazione.
Allora, sul nuovo stile,
So we've pretty much already said everything there is to say about Lancia's new style in the previous times we've met, but not quite, because today I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our new head of design, Gianni Colonnello. Congratulations, Gianni. So, the Ypsilon certainly features a highly distinctive design with the chalice, the tail lights, the smooth sides. Its interior with utmost comfort and plenty of space, great attention to sustainability too. 50% of everything you can touch on board the Ypsilon is made of recycled and or recyclable materials, and then superb detailing materials, the fine velvet fabric. So, we've given you our 4 statements, and today you've driven the car, and I hope you agree with me at this point. We wanted to deliver a very high quality product, and I think that is another promise we have kept.
Quindi la nuova Y.
So the new Ypsilon today is truly ready for the market. We wanted a hatchback sedan that was 4 meters long, which is the top limit for city traffic, but it's also 20 centimeters longer than the previous one. So it can actually even become a real first family car too. We wanted a very straightforward offering, 2 powertrains and 3 trim levels. Mind you, though, straightforward doesn't mean basic. The entry-level trim, the new Lancia Ypsilon, is the gateway to Lancia's Italian elegance, and as you can see, it's a full-spec model. It's clearly dedicated to younger, modern customers who are looking for connectivity and technology from their cars. The new Lancia Ypsilon LX trim is the version dedicated to the most discerning customers and offers the best in terms of materials and detailing. As you can see, it's probably the highest spec model in the segment. And lastly, in our lineup, we also have the new Lancia Ypsilon Edizione Cassina. It's our range topper, a true manifesto of comfort, refinement, and exclusivity, and it's dedicated to design enthusiasts who want to feel like they're at home while they're driving. So a very straightforward lineup and very clear positioning. As you know full well, the Ypsilon has been the B-segment star for 14 years in Italy, with over 3 million cars sold. We have a fleet of almost 1 million cars on the road, and this is a market territory we want to keep. We want to keep it for ourselves, so we chose to set the right price to keep us mid-market price-wise. So the hybrid version will be available from a list price of 25,000 euros or below 21,000, thanks to the new incentives, and a very interesting entry price below 23,000 for the electric version with current incentives. Plus, there's a unique financing offer for both engines at 130 euros a month. Very straightforward, right? Before closing, we're now coming to the moment that we always love to share with you as a preview, you journalists, on new TV commercial. Lancia is elegance, it's design. Lancia is also cinema, it's fashion. Basically, with Lancia, there's always one art form or another. So if I have to define the new Lancia Ypsilon, For me, Ypsilon is a masterpiece in motion. Let's see.
Bello.
Great, right? Well, we certainly owe thanks to Olivier Francois. I hope he's connected. One certainly feels his touch in what we've just seen. So, as I told you before, this event is titled One Car, Four Statements, because today we've told you about drivability, technology, electrification, and elegance. But actually, there are other four statements hidden in this title of ours. As always, we wanted to play around a bit, but also give you a nice surprise. So the first statement is Cinese, the one we told you about in Milan. The second statement is about the Ypsilon lineup, the one we told you about today during this wonderful, intense day we've spent together. The third statement is something that started many years ago. It's something based on performance, passion, victories, but also a story, a statement that still very much remains to be told. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the new Lancia Ypsilon HF.
Signore e signori.
Ladies and gentlemen, here in its premiere, the new Ypsilon HF, the most essential, most radical soul of our brand and of our culture. Did you know that they say that once elephants start to run, they're unstoppable? So welcome back to our lucky little elephant that's back as a symbol of great performance and driving pleasure. This thanks to an 100% electric motor, an output of 240 bhp, and acceleration from 0 to 100 in just 5.8 seconds. And as you see also, it's a wider car, 4 centimeters wider, a little lower. It's more assertive and muscular too. It's on its way, May 2025, just as we had promised. What do you think? But let's go back to our four statements: the Ypsilon Casina, the Ypsilon lineup, thirdly, the Ypsilon HF. But I just said we had four statements to give you. Well, okay, HF also stands for Squadra Corse, for racing team. HF stands for racing, for victories, victories that still thrill our hearts to this very day. There's a title that I've been holding in my heart for a couple of years now. You see it on the screen. The title is, If There's a God of Rallies, Lancia must make a comeback. And so now, ladies and gentlemen, yes indeed, Lancia is back.
Signore e signori.
So, ladies and gentlemen, here is the new Lancia YPSILON HF Rally 4. It's official. Lancia is returning to the world of rallying. But we're returning in our own way, with our own style, with great ambitions, but also with great magnetism, with humility, and staying fully grounded. So we're starting from basics. We're starting again with Rally 4. We're starting again with young drivers, the ones who are just getting started in their careers, the young racers who will be tomorrow's professionals. So let's give a very warm hand to these 4 cars. So 1 car and 4 statements. You've often heard me say that the new YPSILON isn't only the replacement for the current YPSILON, it's really much more besides, because it's the first car for the major relaunch of our brand. It's an all-new, more modern, European, cross-cutting car. It's a solid, ambitious, and important project. It's the project with which we want to make Lancia become a credible and respected brand in the premium market in Europe, and that's what we set out to do. So that's it. And now I'd like to ask Carlos to join me on stage. Thank you. Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you. Buonasera a tutti.
Good evening to you all.
English and Portuguese. So I decided to choose English, and my apologies for not speaking Italian at this stage. I have so many things to share with you, but I will try to limit myself to 3 major topics. The first one, in January 2021, when we created Stellantis, Lancia was on course to disappear. It was quite clear that there was no product planning for Lancia, there was no vision for the future, there was no investments that were planned to make the brand rebound, and we decided that that was not respectful of the history and the brand equity of this fantastic Italian brand. So we decided in the first quarter of 2021 that this could not be as it was planned. We could not plan for the fact that the brand would disappear. So we started working, and we asked Luca to take the lead. We started working on what are the programs we want to bring back, how are we going to leverage the power of Stellantis in terms of technology, in terms of platforms, in terms of design. And the first thing that was really warm to our hearts was the decision to give Lancia a new future and let the Lancia brand rebound. At Stellantis, we are unapologetic. I repeat, we are unapologetic about the fact that we love cars and we love brands. Whatever you may hear about Stellantis, good things, bad things, especially the bad things, please do not forget that at Stellantis, we are unapologetic about the fact that we love cars, we love brands, we love human histories. We love the histories of people that, despite the headwinds, despite the criticisms, sometimes despite the insults, keep on moving, keep on getting things done to honor the history of a fantastic brand called Lancia. And this is what Luca is doing with his team. He's honoring the fantastic history of this brand, and he's creating the future of Lancia. And I would like to thank him very much for his leadership. He has been in our company a star. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you are right to applaud Luca and the Lancia team, because he is engaged. And engaged at Stellantis has a very specific meaning. At Stellantis, when you are engaged, it means you are using your brains to find solutions, your heart for the passion of moving forward, and your stomach to make daring and bold decisions. So at Stellantis, when you are engaged, you are using your brains, your hearts, and your stomach. The solutions, the passion, the courage. This is exactly what the Lancia team is at Stellantis. A very compact team, very agile, very motivated, of course, but a team that knows how to navigate and take the best out of Stellantis. It is very important that all of us, we understand this. My second message is simple. This product has been created in Torino, in our design studio. This product has been engineered in Torino, in our engineering division. This product has been set up in Balocco, our proving ground. So in terms of intangible assets, this is a pure Italian product. Whether some like it or dislike it, the real value creation is in the fact that the design was created in Torino, the engineering was made in Torino, and the setup and the handling and the comfort have been tuned in this region. So regardless of everything else, the product is a pure Italian product. Now, for those who do not understand and are not knowledgeable about our industry, it is good that you know this. In the total manufacturing cost of an automobile, the total manufacturing cost before you deliver the car to the dealers, the final assembly that is focusing all the interest of many people is 10%. The final assembly of the vehicle is 10%. So you tell me, where is the value creation? Is it in the design studio? Is it in the engineering? Is it in the tuning of the suspensions for handling and comfort? Isn't that the real true place where value is created? Or is it in the 10% of the total manufacturing cost? I will let you conclude. In my mind, it's obvious. The answer is quite obvious. And the third thing is that there is a very big news today, which is the fact that I believe that the Greek government is very proud that we call this car Lancia Epsilon. Thank you very much.